Shalom. I want to give all the praise, all the glory, all the honor unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahushai Bahashem, Rika Kudash. Double honors goes out to the elder apostles of Great Millstone for teaching me the truth. Also, I want to acknowledge all the Akim who are pushing the truth with sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. All right. All right. So I'm gonna go in on Joshua 5 today, and it reads in verse 1. And it came to pass, when all the kings of the Amorites which were on the side of Jordan westward, and all the kings of the Canaanites which were by the sea, heard that Yahweh had dried up the waters of Jordan from before the sons of Israel, until we were passed over, that their heart melted, neither was there spirit in them any more because of the sons of Israel. All right, so this is like when Moses split the Red Sea, right? But this is when our people crossed over the Jordan River, because it was the same deal. The Lord dried up the waters so that we could cross, and the heathen, they all witnessed it. All right, so it says right here that they melted their heart, meaning their minds melted, meaning they were terrified. Neither was their spirit in them anymore because of the sons of Israel. So the heathen was terrified because they, that was a miracle that they witnessed, that they knew about. Our people crossing the Jordan, because Yahweh dried up the waters. So let's read verse 2. At that time Yahweh said unto Joshua, make these sharp knives, and circumcise again the sons of Israel the second time. All right, because just you got to remember the Moses generation was pretty much wicked, and weren't allowed to see the promised land that Yahweh Bashem Yahushai promised Moses and the Israelites. It was during the time of Joshua where that generation was able to be in the promised land, right, which was promised to the nation of Israel. And so now Yahweh is like reinforcing. He's telling Joshua, hey, take these sharp knives and circumcise. And really, circumcision deals with not just a physical circumcision, but a spiritual circumcision, which is, acknowledging the laws and statutes of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Just like us, when we come into this truth, we're being spiritually circumcised, right? It's a covenant, an agreement. So it's being reinforced here in Joshua, the 5th chapter. So we read verse 3, it says, and Joshua made him sharp knives and circumcised the sons of Israel at the hill of the foreskins. And this is the cause why Joshua did circumcise all the people that came out of Egypt that were males, even all the men of war died in the wilderness by the way after they came out of Egypt. Now all the people that came out were circumcised, but all the people that were born in the wilderness by the way as they came forth out of Egypt, them had they not circumcised. So you had a group that died, and then in verse 5 it tells you, now all the people that came out were circumcised, but all the people that were born in the wilderness by the way as they came forth of Egypt had not been circumcised. So the ones who were born in Egypt, meaning the younger generation, they weren't circumcised, right? And really, it's physical and spiritual. It's twofold, right? So let's read verse 6. For the children of Israel walked 40 years in the wilderness, till all the people that were men of war which came out of Egypt were consumed, because they obeyed not the voice of Yahweh, unto whom Yahweh sware that he would not show them the land which Yahweh sware unto their fathers that he would give us, a land that floweth with milk and honey. Right? Because their wickedness, Yahweh Bashem Yahshai consumed them in the wilderness. So they weren't able to partake in that land of flowing of milk and honey, right? In the promised land. Verse 7, and their children, or I should say, and their sons whom he raised up in their stead, them Joshua circumcised, for they are uncircumcised because they had not circumcised them by the way. So basically, this is going into, not only the physical circumcision, but also the enforcing the laws, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, meaning teaching the uncircumcised of Israel to be circumcised, meaning give them the laws. All right. Verse 8, and it came to pass when they had done circumcising all the people, that they abode in their places in the camp till they were whole. So you can see right there the twofold, right? Where they abode in their camp till they healed up, and also being whole in this truth meaning we have the understanding of the law, statutes, and commandments that makes us whole. All right. The opposite of being whole would be sick, right? Like it tells you in what is it? Is it Isaiah or Jeremiah? Let me see, Jeremiah 1. Actually, no, it's Isaiah. It says, oh no, 5. Why should you be stricken anymore? Talking to the Israelites, ye will revolt more and more. The whole head is sick, and the whole heart faint. So your head and your heart. Your head is your leadership. Your heart is your mind. So the opposite of being whole is being sick, right? When you're healthy, you'd be considered whole, right? Like good, clean, and wholesome, right? But when you're sick, you're not whole. So it's a twofold. What we're reading in Joshua 5, talking about making when their circumcision, their physical circumcision healed up, and then also being made whole, being brought into this truth, being brought into this knowledge that makes you whole. Jeremiah 5 and 9 says, I'm sorry, Joshua is what I meant. Joshua 5 and 9. And Yahweh said unto Joshua, this day have I rolled away the reproach of Egypt from off you. Wherefore the name of this place is called Gilgal unto this day. Let me just get that definition. Let's see. All right, so, and that word reproach, it means shame, right? So Yahweh is saying, I took you out of Egypt. You were in the wilderness. Now I'll let you cross the Jordan, taking away that shame off of you. Because when you're in Egypt, the word Egypt means bondage, which it means slavery, right? That's why America is known as spiritual Egypt, because this is where we're slaves here in America, right? If you have a social security number, a birth certificate, a driver's license, that means you're a slave. These guys are keeping track of you, right? The heathen. And in this captivity, more specifically, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. He's everything you do in your life, in your world, in Babylon, America, is attached to your social security number, which shows you're in slavery. You can't buy a house, you can't buy a car. You can't do anything without a social security number. Because why? You're in spiritual Egypt, meaning spiritual slavery, spiritual bondage. Ancient Egypt, we were slaves. We're still slaves in this Egypt, spiritual Egypt. So when he takes that shame off us, being in Egypt or spiritual Egypt now, it's a shameful thing, because look at our people. They literally, none of our people, except for the ones that are repenting and coming into the fold of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, none of them are considering the laws of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. None of them are considering who they are. None of them consider anything pertaining to this scripture. Like I say, except for the 1/3 that's repenting, and not even all the 1/3. Well, I don't know, but the 1/3 I don't know if they're sealed or not yet. Right, the elect. Once the elect are sealed, though, which we're getting close, hey, that's a done data for America. This place will be destroyed once the elect is sealed. But when you're in Egypt, it's a shameful thing as an Israelite. You so-called Black, Latino, and Native Americans, you should be ashamed because you don't know any of the laws, statutes of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And you don't consciously try to keep them. So verse 10, let's read it. And the children of Israel encamped in Gilgal and kept the Passover on the 14th day of the month at even in the plains of Jericho. That's a law. How many of our people kept the Passover, this year? We just passed it. It just passed the beginning of March. I believe it was March 5th through March 12th this year. How many of you kept the Passover? Not a lot of people. So that's a shameful thing, like we just read, reproach. You had the men of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. We kept the Passover to the best of our ability. See? We considered the Passover. That's a commandment that we're supposed to keep throughout every generation according to the scripture. So if you didn't keep the Passover here, you're what they call uncircumcised. The opposite of being circumcised, right? You're not, even if you're physically circumcised, you're spiritually uncircumcised, which is really worse, right?